together we might as well say, would you be mine, could you be mine, won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please, won't you please, please won't you be my neighbor?
Okay, kids, you ready? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day for beauty, would neighborly day for beauty. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? I always wanted to live in a neighborhood just like you. I always wanted to have a neighborhood just like you. This is the part where everybody sings. Ready? So let's make the best of this beautiful day. While we're all here, we might as well say, won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? Please, won't you be my neighbor? Won't you be mine? Please be mine. Won't you be my neighbor? All right, I'm going to sing a song about my neighborhood. This is for Bill. Some people said I should leave. No use hanging around. Wanna make it, boy? You better get out of this town. But they got it all wrong, as wrong as can be. I wanna live with my friends, live with my family. So please understand, they run deep, but I can feel this town breathe, hear its heartbeat. Meet me tonight down on East Carson Street. All the second-hand stores selling our memories, all the bars and guitars were my symphony. It's where I had my best times, where I wanna grow old and see my children take pride in the black and the gold. So please understand, the roots they run deep, but I can feel this town breathe, I can hear its heartbeat. Meet me tonight down on East Carson Street. Bridges and the rivers, the sound of the railroad cars. Take a ride on the incline and climb on up to the stars. So please understand, the roots they run deep. I can feel this town breathe, Lord, I can hear its heartbeat. So meet me tonight down on East Carson Street. Meet me tonight down on East crossing the street. Meet me tonight down on East crossing the street. Oh yeah, down on East crossing the street. Oh yeah, oh he got to meet me tonight. Oh he got to meet me tonight. Oh he got to meet me tonight. Oh meet me tonight down on East Carson Street. Thank you.
Let's hear it again for Joe Gruszecki and the Kappa High School Choir. To Mayor Ravenstall and to public officials, clergy, ladies and gentlemen, and especially to Mayor-elect Bill Peduto and his family, I'm Bishop Lauren Mann. I've been chosen to be your Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon. Thank you so much for coming and welcome to Heinz Hall. I know that we're glad to be inside this place given the inclement weather. We will trade the portico of City Hall at any time for the comfort of Heinz Hall. This is the 60th time that we will have done this in Pittsburgh, inaugurating a mayor, and this is indeed a special occasion and a very historic occasion for us here in the city of Three Rivers, so we thank you for coming. I will ask you to rise for the posting of our nation's colors by the City of Pittsburgh Department of Public Safety Color Guard and pipes and drums consisting of members of the bureaus of police, fire, and emergency medical services, and remain standing for Jeff Jimerson, who will sing the national anthem. After the colors are presented, you might as well remain standing because the Boy Scouts of America from Pittsburgh are going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and then they will be followed by the Most Reverend David Zubik, who is the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Pittsburgh, who will ask God's blessings on this occasion. After the invocation, you may then be seated.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order! Halt! Boy Scouts, left face. Colors, host. Ready, two. Right, ace. Forward, hard.
May I ask you all to bow your heads as we pray God's blessing. Dear God Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, this is a beautiful city, for you have created it through your leaders and by its citizens. From Morningside to Shadyside, from the north side to the south side, from the east side and the west end, from Homewood to Hazelwood, from Squirrel Hill to the Hill District, from Polish Hill to Stanton Heights, from downtown to uptown, from every neighborhood, we know that this is a beautiful city, and for it we are grateful to you. And if somehow we have forgotten that truth, you remind us through every visitor to this city we call Pittsburgh. We know that there are many reasons for that beauty. The bridges that scan this city's three rivers, the graceful beauty of its buildings, the majestic splendor of its nighttime lights. But of all these are surpassed by the beauty of what really makes this city someplace special. Its people, each and every one of us, every woman, man, and child, every race and culture, every religion, and every politic. For us all, we are grateful, for together we are Pittsburgh, and for that we thank you. Today, our thanks draws us to pray your blessing upon our new mayor, Bill Peduto. May he always seek to unite us in our diversity. May he help us to walk through our differences, inspire his leadership to build up cooperation, and may he set the stage for consensus that we need to keep up together. Strengthen him to do good things for us all. Fire up his vision and keep him ever strong in his integrity. May he build on the hard work of we the people, a longtime hallmark of this city's greatness. Give him courageous leadership that we so much need to meet the challenges of the years ahead. Tender always his heart with your mercy, that the poor will always be thought of first in every decision. Grace him to embrace the sacredness of all life, so that every life will be honored, respected, and protected always and in all ways. And finally, holding in one hand the Constitution of this great land and keeping the other hand open to your will, may our new mayor fashion a government with the people, for the people, and by the people, all for your honor and glory, and for the heartfelt service of your people. Amen.
Thank you, Bishop Zubik. There are a number of public officials who have joined us for this occasion today. I'm going to take a few moments to acknowledge them. I will ask that you'll withhold your applause until they all have been acknowledged, and then we will appreciate them with our applause. I will ask that they will stand as their names are called. Representing U.S. Senator Robert P. Casey is Jackie Erickson. Please stand, remain standing. Also representing U.S. Senator Pat Toomey is Matt Blackburn. Congressman Mike Doyle, Congressman Keith Rothfuss. Representing Governor Tom Corbett is Marianne Eisenrich. State Treasurer Rob McCord. State Democratic Leader Jay Costa. State Democratic Caucus Administrator Wayne Fontana. State Senator Matt Smith. House Majority Leader Mike Turzai. House Democratic Caucus Chair Dan Frankel. State Representative Dom Costa, and also State Representative Paul Costa. State Rep Dan Deasy. State Representative Tony DeLuca. State Representative Ed Gainey. State Representative Bill Kortz. State Representative Rob Matzy. State Rep Dan Miller, and also State Representative Kim Miller. State Representative Erin Malconey. State Representative Pam Snyder. State Representative Harold English. And representing State Representative Rick Saccone is Char Tibbett. County Executive Rich Fitzgerald. County Controller Chelsea Wagner. Several members of the local courts, President Judge Jeffrey Manning, Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas, Judge Mike Marmo, Judge Mike McCarthy, Judge Arnie Klein, Judge Tom Flaherty, Judge Dwayne Woodruff, Judge Jack McVeigh, Judge Paul Koza, Judge Alan Hartsburg, all from the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. Members of Allegheny County Council, Council President Chuck Martoni, Councilman Jimmy Ellenbogen, Councilman Mike Finnerty, Councilman Bob Macy, Councilman Bill Robinson, Councilwoman Heather Heidelbaugh, Councilman Ed Kress, Councilwoman Sue Means, and Councilwoman Jan Ray. City Controller Mike Lamb, City Councilwoman Deb Gross, City Councilwoman Darlene Harris, Councilwoman Teresa Cale Smith, Councilman Bruce Kraus, Councilman Daniel Lavelle, Councilman Corey O'Connor, Councilwoman Natalia Rudiak, and Councilman Reverend Ricky Burgess. We have members of the Pittsburgh School Board who are with us. Member Bill Eisler, Member Mark Brentley, and Member Dr. Regina Holley. And a few members of the minor judiciary, Magisterial District Judge Richard King and District Judge James Henley. Secretary Treasurer Frank Snyder of the Pennsylvania AFL-CIO. President Jack Shea of the Allegheny County Labor Council. President Richard Stanizo. That's my first mistake today. Pittsburgh Building Trades Council. President Richard Capone of AFSCME, District Council 84. Secretary Treasurer Sam DiNardo, Amalgamated Transit Workers Union, Local 85. James Malloy from the Fraternal Order of Police. Steve Mazza from the Greater Pennsylvania Regional Council of Carpenters. Business Manager Michael Dunleavy, IBEW, Local 5. And Political Director Giles Grinko of the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades. Oh, there's more. President Todd Facera of the Machinist District 98. Business Manager Bill Cagney, Operating Engineers 95. President Keith Thurner, Operating Engineers 95. President Nina Esposito Vizgitis, Pittsburgh Federation of Teachers, PFT. President Joseph King, Pittsburgh Firefighters Union. President Tom Weinman, the Pittsburgh Paramedics. And from the Plumbers Union, Business Manager Marty O'Tooler. President Pat Bigley from the Plumbers Union. The SEI has sent several representatives. State Council President Gabe Morgan, that's from SEIU 32BJ. Also from the same union, Sam Williamson, Neil Bisno, SEIU Healthcare. Business Manager David Burnett from the Sheet Metal Workers, Local 12. Barbara Barnes, Sprinkler Fitters, Local 542. Business Agent Bob Brown, Stagehands, Local 3. Secretary Treasurer Sean Foyle, Stagehands Local 3, and also from the Stagehands Local 3, President Bob Olinger. President Mary Alice Cipher, Unite Here. Kevin Kilroy, United Food and Commercial Workers Union, Local 23. Also want to take a moment to pay tribute to Pittsburgh's past mayors. Luke Ravenstall, representing Bob O'Connor, is his wife Judy and son Father Terry O'Connor. Mayor Tom Murphy. Representing Mayor Sophie Masloff is Fred Frank. Representing Mayor Richard Caligiuri is his wife Jeannie, and their sons are also here. Representing Mayor Pete Flaherty is his son Brian Flaherty. Representing Mayor Joseph M. Barr, his daughter Alice and her husband Patrick. And representing Mayor David Lawrence is his grandson David Donahoe. And we also want to pay tribute to Mayor Tom Gallagher, whose family could not be with us here today. May we hear applause for all of these special guests. It's nice to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. The name Vanessa German is associated with the spoken word. She's defined as a multidisciplinary artist. One of her most recent works was seen and is seen, particularly in neighborhoods where violence has spiraled here in Pittsburgh. Those familiar signs, "Stop shooting, we love you." Vanessa German comes to us now with spoken word.
The city is ours today. We rise and claim the reins of change with both hands. We aim ourselves to the stars, for we are champions, and the city is ours today. We claim it, singing against the steel-milled foothills that still call our grandfathers' names. We rise with the horizon of luminous high-rises and river shine, for the future is bright, and it is getting brighter, and we know this, for the city is ours today. Let us say so and sing its praises out loud, from Homewood and Brushton, down the street to Penn Avenue, to the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. busway, to Point Breeze, across the Birmingham Bridge, up Sarah Street, up the South Side slopes, to Crest, upon the rooftops of Carrick. These avenues, alleyways, and old staircases are our places. These elementary schools, these rising church spires, these riverbanks, these storefronts are the places that we have to make our mark. Each and every day, there are countless opportunities to make of our old world a new world. Dr. King said that we hold within us the healing and transformative power of love. And with this power, we will be able to make of our old world a new world. We will be able to make one another better. So let us move forth from Lawrenceville to Larimer, carrying our legacy close. Let us rise to become change agents of a 6-block radius. Let us become drum majors of justice on our own front porches, bearing forth hope in the form of simply saying hello. Let it begin with Bryant Street, over to the New Bohemian, cross the Roberto Clemente Bridge, up the hill into August Wilson stomping ground. This is our challenge, our moment, our charge, to stand together, to band together, hand in hand, to rise with the human commitment and the political will to fill the fields and hills and valleys and alleyways of our Pittsburgh with the healing and transformative power of love of human beings rising for each other, moving from apathy to action. And it may not always be easy. It may not come to be simple or fun or come as quick as we want it to, but this is our call to courage, that we might all rise forth and take the opportunity to make our mark and be inspiring right where we are. Because the truth is, people give up every day. People give up on themselves and their city. They say that I don't count and my voice doesn't matter, neither does my vote. They say that the ladder of opportunity is filled with entire too many broken rungs and it's not worth getting up to even try. People give up, students drop out, single mothers wonder how they'll make it to the end of the week. And the thing about Pittsburgh is that people think that we're just this, this little speck on a map that had its heyday in a black sky way back then. But the reality is Pittsburgh is a city family, and that is something to be proud of. That we could stand on the corner of 20th and Smallman lost, looking for a bus to get you from downtown to the Manor Theater in Squirrel Hill. 15 people and their grandmother would stop. people would offer you rides. Then they would offer to mow your lawn and shovel your driveway. And then they would hold a fundraiser for the food bank. And then people would cross Penn Avenue from Point Breeze to celebrate Harambe and Homewood, because we stand together with each other. We will stand with you and with your children, and God forbid, should something happen to you, we will cry by your side at a candlelight vigil. We'll bake you a casserole, organize a spaghetti dinner, and then we will begin to work tirelessly to make sure that what has happened to you or your family doesn't happen to anybody else. We will work tirelessly to make certain that our city and our schools are safe for every single human being. This is the power of Pittsburgh. The power of Pittsburgh is us. That we have each other's backs. That's just what we do. Mighty, aren't we? We are fighters, aren't we? We don't give up easy, do we? Oh no, Bill Peduto would tell you that. We do not give up easy. People think we're these little people at a provincial pace with very little power, but the truth is we know how to show up. We will show up with our hands and our feet, our hearts, our ideas, and our dreams, willing and ready to rise early, to go to work for each other, with each other, together. And this isn't just theoretical. It's literally, physically, strategically, actively. We will stack bricks and read books to your child. We will tutor math and mentor and plant seeds. We will insist that the city be as livable for me as it is for you. This is what we do. Street sweepers, second graders, garbage collectors, teachers, preachers, theater directors, doctors, lawyers, and the mayor. Let us rise and claim the reins of change with both hands and aim ourselves to the stars, for we are a city of citizen champions. Thanks.
Wow. Vanessa German in plain English. When I came to Pittsburgh as a kid a little over 50 years ago, I was told that the coldest corner in Pittsburgh is Penn and Highland in East Liberty. It may or may not be true, but if it is the coldest corner in Pittsburgh, there is the constant warmth of the East Liberty Presbyterian Church. And when I look at those gigantic spires, I'm inspired by the man who leads that ministry. I must confess, he's one of my favorite preachers. We all know the story of the burning bush, and every time I hear him preach, I conclude that the bush still burns. The Reverend Randy Bush.
Thank you, Bishop Mann, Mr. Mayor, County Executive, other elected officials, dignitaries, and friends. I want to begin my remarks by asking what may seem a rather frivolous question. Where's the best place to stand to get a great photograph of Pittsburgh? Is it standing near the incline looking down on the city from Mount Washington? Is it out on the river looking back toward the point when the fountain is spraying? Is it sitting near the top rows of PNC Park taking in the entire panorama of downtown? On a clear day, any one of those locations will give you an excellent photograph worth framing and hanging on the wall. But if we're honest, the most interesting photographs are not the panoramic ones taken with a wide-angle lens, but rather the close-up shots of people, the family portraits, the street scenes, the kids in schoolyards, the photos that you look at and study to see the faces and the neighborhoods depicted there on the film. Reminds me of the work of the Pittsburgh photographer Charles Teeny Harris, One Shot Harris, whose works now are housed in the Carnegie Museum. Fascinating images of celebrities and sports stars, but also of district cafes and street scenes. Those are great photographs. Mr. Peduto, in a few moments, you will step forward and take the oath of office as mayor of this great city. And a new chapter in your life and your career will unfold. It's as if you're stepping into a new office whose walls are filled with empty picture frames, just waiting to be filled with images of events and accomplishments from your tenure as mayor. So the question is, what types of photos do you want to hang on your walls? Now, I can imagine there'll be lots of photos of you beside dignitaries and celebrities who come to visit. That's just one of the perks of being mayor. But I hope there'll also be pictures of you smiling on the street level beside the people of Carrick and Crafton and Hazelwood and Homewood and Brighton Heights and Perry, East Liberty, Larimer, and all the rest. So ask yourself, what photos will people look back upon years from now and then say, yes, that captures best what Bill Peduto brought to the city of Pittsburgh? Now, to help answer that question, think about photographs of other famous people in modern history. Mandela, King, Gandhi, Mother Teresa. The iconic images of all those people rarely show them standing alone. Invariably, you see Nelson Mandela in a packed courtroom naming the values for which he was willing to die, or later after he was released from prison, smiling and surrounded by people anxious to hear his words about truth and justice and reconciliation. Most pictures of Dr. King show him marching with arms linked with others, walking for an end to prejudice and bigotry, walking for the American dream and not the Jim Crow promissory notes. And the images of Mahatma Gandhi and Mother Teresa, aren't they almost always bending down to help someone? Aren't they captured on film beside the poor and the forgotten, the vulnerable who exist in every city and every neighborhood and every age, but people who find a new dignity when their face can be reflected in the eyes of leaders who are caring and compassionate? The Jewish Talmud says, whoever saves a single life saves an entire world. Can the pictures on your desk and your wall capture the truth in that saying? Now, some may argue that the office of mayor is far from glamorous and less influential than one might imagine. As mayor, you will grapple with citizen complaints over potholes and property tax, hiring freezes and frozen city streets. And you will daily face the slings and arrows of outrageous letters to the editor and Rob Rogers' political cartoons. The pressing issues, though, for your work will be pretty consistent in the coming years: employment, transportation, housing, public safety. But how you approach those challenges will make all the difference in the world. Maybe you have dreams for Pittsburgh that are grand and panoramic, of skyscrapers and civic glory, and that's okay. But remember that the secret of lasting success is not how tall you aspire to build things, but whether you first ensure that a floor exists below which no one is allowed to fall. Mr. Mayor, I invite you to fill in any sinkholes that exist. Sinkholes of prejudice, false privilege, corrupt patronage, petty politics. Give a hand up to the men and women others have pushed to the margin or dumped to the ditches or left behind by the sides of the road. Because Pittsburgh is a tough, strong, resilient city, as you well know, and it's a place of generosity and creativity and faith and commitment. But it can only succeed if everyone has a foundation upon which to build a life, and there's a city government dedicated to bringing everyone along for the journey ahead. So remember those photographs of Mandela and King and Gandhi and Mother Teresa, and all the crowds of people captured on film beside them. And think about the empty picture frames lining your wall waiting to be filled. And then let us stand beside you as those photographs document your public service. Put us to work. Call out the best in us as you lead us forward, and hold to what Dr. King has said: the time is always right to do what is right. Godspeed, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Bush. We're approaching the moment of the swearing in, and the mayor did not ask me to do this, but I'm going to give him a little piece of advice. Unsolicited advice always works out well. And this may help you determine who is the most important member of your staff. There's a story about a young man who was making it well on the speaking circuit, and he had the honorarium to prove it, $15,000 per speaking engagement. He had a young speechwriter who was trying to get a raise, and of course he was denied. Finally, the young man booked a gigantic speaking engagement at the National Press Club, and it was billed as a speech that he was going to answer some world problems: world peace, the economy, global warming. His speechwriter again asked for an increase in salary. He was denied. So they arrive at the National Press Club for that gigantic and momentous speaking occasion. The young man is introduced to give his speech. After giving kudos to all who've come to hear him, he finally gets down to the text. I know you're here to hear of these simple solutions that I have to world peace, the world economy, and also global warming. Issue number one, world peace. And he flipped his script, and there was a note from the speechwriter: you can take it from here. So take care of your speechwriter. Sacred moment in a sanctuary is the moment of prayer. In a courtroom, it's the swearing in of a witness. In an inaugural ceremony, the oath of office. We will ask the mayor-elect to come with his family, and also Mr. and Mrs. Max Shulow. These are the parents of the late Officer Paul Shulow, who died in the line of duty April 2009. The oath of office will be administered by the Honorable Justin M. Johnson of the Pennsylvania Superior Court, and the Bible on which the mayor will lay his hand as he takes the oath of office belonged to his late brother, Tom.
I'm going to invite you to raise your right hand and then repeat after me the oath. I, William Peduto,
I, William Peduto,
do solemnly swear
that
I will obey and carry the office, that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the laws which are applicable to your position here in Pittsburgh.
and the laws applicable to my position as mayor of Pittsburgh.
Further, you agree that you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duties and performance in the city of Pittsburgh.
I will faithfully and impartially perform my duties as the mayor of the city of Pittsburgh.
And you will be doing that according to law and to the best of your ability.
And I will do that according to law and to the best of my ability.
Mr. Mayor, congratulations.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you. Please sit down. It's a lot nicer in here than it would have been out on Grant Street. So I told Kevin Acklin before I walked up today, I said, I think it was by providence. I think God said, you can't let all these wonderful people that have helped you for so long stand out in the cold. You got to give them a nice place to sit. And to our team that put this together basically in 48 hours, thank you so much. A couple of people I just want to recognize as well are the leader of the State House, our Democratic leader, Frank Dermody, who's here as well. Frank, thank you. And also the person who I probably wouldn't be standing up here without his help all these years, the newest member of Pittsburgh City Council, Dan Gilman. To everybody that's here, and to the faces that I see as I look around, thank you for the journey. Thank you for all of the support and love and friendship that you've given to me throughout a lifetime. Thank you for your belief in me in the job that I will now be taking. Today I've taken an oath to lead the city we share, the city we love, and the city that has shaped and continues to honor essential aspects of the American character: hard work, deep values, a spirit of personal independence balanced with a sense of community. 59 other people have taken the oath ahead of me. Remarkable people have led Pittsburgh and conferred a legacy as eternal as our three rivers and as ever-changing as our skyline. George Armstrong, known as the Builder. David Lawrence, the mayor of our first Renaissance. Richard Caligiuri, who ascended to office amid economic upheaval and raised a new city upon the framework of the old. And the steady, sensible, and wise woman who needs no last name because we'll always know and we'll always love her is simply Sophie. Pittsburgh has grown and changed and grown again from the day a small campfire burned at the confluence of our three rivers and heralded the new boundaries of the American nation. But we did not only inherit this city from our forebears, we are also borrowing it from our children. Whatever we take from this place, be it wealth or success or happiness, we have a moral obligation to return with interest to generations yet unborn. The things that we'll do in these next few years, the efforts that we'll undertake together as a city, will determine the fortunes of generations yet to come. Pittsburgh has given the nation and the world the steel framework on which an entire age was built. Along with the steel and the industrial might, it has given our nation artists such as Andy Warhol, and writers such as Gertrude Stein and August Wilson, visionaries such as Herbert Simon and Rachel Carson, historians such as David McCullough, and healers such as Thomas Starzl and Jonas Salk. Pittsburgh has produced wealth beyond computation, knowledge beyond measure, and vision beyond limits. But what this city has done cannot be the end of our story. Pittsburgh must also do. We must live in the present tense with our eyes fixed on tomorrow. Yes, we ought to remember our past, but never at the risk of forgetting our future. We've gone through some challenging times in the past decade. Events have raised questions about some of our civic institutions, and scandal has caused us to wonder if government can again be a force for true progress. Let me be clear. The qualities that make a city successful are the same ones that make a city honest. The politics that undermine growth, corruption, self-dealing, and disregard for the common good are the very ones that doom a city to economic failure. Good government isn't only a question of civic virtue, it is the thing that determines a city's survival. I tell you now, there is nothing wrong with the institutions of this city that cannot be repaired by good faith, square dealing, and hard work. I will not make the mistake of assuming that my ascension to the office of mayor is in itself political reform. It is my job to turn this moment into an opportunity for reform. I understand that my election doesn't complete the task of setting things right. It only offers us the chance to begin. So, let us begin. 2 weeks ago, I was handed 1,100 pages of inspiration. An advisory committee made up of hundreds of ordinary citizens proved that a spirit of democracy produces extraordinary ideas. In the coming months, I'll take many of those ideas and turn them into an agenda for the future. I'll do this by placing our tasks into 3 broad categories: accountability, responsibility, and sustainability. Accountability means a government that is open in every way possible. We've begun that process by hiring on merit. We will continue to shape our departments in that same spirit. Responsibility means facing the facts as they are, especially our financial realities. I take office in a city still recovering from the disastrous effects of spending money it did not have on things it could not afford. As a result, we're under a state recovery plan. I promise to you that when the day comes to declare ourselves fully restored, that declaration will be grounded in solid fact, not wishful thinking. Sustainability means creating a culture of governance that will last beyond any one administration. It's about creating the critical mass that makes a city's economy expand and thrive, making our city essential to a full life for our citizens. And all the while, guarding the land, the waters, and the sky which we share with the rest of the world. Like so many others, my family came to Pittsburgh from another land. We share this wonderful city through the filter of many cultures and creeds. From Italy and Ireland to Mexico City and Mumbai, Pittsburgh has been the destination for millions who have entered through the golden door of American freedom. My own family has been in America for 3 generations. Some are with me here on the stage. Others, especially my father and my brother, are here in my heart. I know they would be proud today, and today I can hear their voices asking me to make them prouder still. In keeping faith with you, I'm also keeping faith with my family, with who I am, and with the man I want to be. In the centuries behind us, there have been many Pittsburghs. There was the frontier town, once the westernmost point in a new American nation. Our grandparents and our great-grandparents knew the Pittsburgh of the Gilded Age, a city teeming with immigrants and filled with the din of factories. We had the Pittsburgh of the 2 Renaissances, when we tore down the old, sometimes too much of it, and added the glitter and lights of a new century that has since passed and now calls for a successor. It is now our moment, our opportunity. Indeed, it is our duty to create the next Pittsburgh. A city that gleams not only with the lights and glass of our towers, but one that also glows with the hope of revived neighborhoods, that thrives in a new sense, a renewed sense of possibility for every child born here. A city that is more than a place to be from, but rather a place where lives can be lived to their fullest measure, where our children graduate school and stay. Where they perfect our next economy, raise their families, and hand the next generation a greater city still. That is the city we deserve. This is the city we can be. Together, we can build the next Pittsburgh. I can't wait to get started. I know that it's cold out there today, but let's warm our city with the fires of reform in the sunlight of a new era. Thank you very much.
Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters ever around you have grown, and accept that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changin'. Critics who prophesize with your pens, and keep your eyes wide, for the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, the wind's still in thin, and there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changin'. Congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, for he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. The battle outside is raging, we'll soon shake your windows and rattle your halls, for the times they are a-changing. And fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old role is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a-changing. The curse it is cast, the slow one now will later be fast, and the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last, for the times they are a-changing. They are changing.
sparkling sands of her golden deserts, and all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. The sun was shining as I was strolling, the wheat fields waving, the dust clouds rolling, a fog was lifting as our voice was chanting. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
As I was walking, I saw a sign there, and the sign said, no trespassing, but the other side said, well, it didn't say nothing, but that side was made for you and me.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Nobody living can ever stop me as I go walking that freedom highway. Nobody living can ever make me turn back. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Let's hear it even more for the African American Music Institute Choir and L'Ohio. L'Ohio is Mayor Peduto's favorite local band. They reunited just for this occasion today. Can we hear it for them? Indeed, as we began, this is a beautiful day in this neighborhood that's called Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We thank you for coming, and I will ask that you would rise for the invocations. You just sat down, huh? The invocations and benedictions, I should say, the benedictions will be given to us by Rabbi Sharon Henry of Rodolph Shalom, Imam Abu Semme Tadis, and the Reverend Glenn Grayson. After the benedictions, would you please remain in your places until the mayor and his chiefs have made their exit from the building. Thank you very much.
Eternal God, source of new beginnings, you ennoble our lives by inspiring us to serve one another with respect, with wisdom, and with generosity. We ask your blessing on the leaders of our city, that they may lead wisely and with civility and work together for the common good. Guide our new mayor that he may ever be a champion for justice, for equity, for harmony, and for unity. We pray for the citizens of this great city, that as we begin this new era, we fuel ourselves with optimism and hope, and that we choose to respond to new ideas with open minds, with patience, and with goodwill. Inspire us to see our neighbors as unique and precious individuals, each one the image of God. Help us work alongside one another, citizens and elected officials, led by Mayor Bill Peduto, to make the next Pittsburgh the most livable American city for every single Pittsburgher. God of all, as we leave this place today, grant us the grace to greet one another with open hands and with open hearts, all citizens of one city, bearers of hope and compassion and strength.
May the grace of God Almighty be with this city, our new mayor, William Peduto, and his entire cabinet. May his many years in the office be blessed with peace and prosperity. God, we ask you to guide him with light and wisdom to foster policies that are best for this city and its people. Oh God, shower him and his entire cabinet with your blessings to do all that is best, not only for this city, not only for this great city of Pittsburgh, but for the entire world. In your beautiful names and attributes, I pray.
O God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, our shelter from the stormy blast and our eternal home. Be thou our guide while life shall last and our eternal home. We thank you for this day, a day I believe that was ordained by God before the foundation of the world, that William Bill Peduto would serve as the 60th mayor of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I pray now that you would build a fence all around him, God, and keep him safe both day and night. I pray that as he serves this most livable city, that he would remember the words of the prophet Micah when he proclaimed, "What does the Lord require of us?" And 3 things that he requires of us: to act justly, to love with mercy, and to walk humbly before our God. God, if you will, give him strength and his cabinet insight and compassion and fortitude and open-mindedness and integrity and love for all mankind, from the bus driver to the chief of staff. Bless, oh God, his executive board, his executive council. Bless this city, oh God. Bless Grant Street, oh God. Just do something unusual and transform and renew Pittsburgh to a higher height and a deeper depth. God, it's our time and our turn. It's now in your hand. Bless this great city. Songs of the hymnist said, "A charge to keep I have, a God to glorify, never dying soul to serve, fitted for the skies to serve this present age, our calling to fulfill." May we, God, from this day, leave here with new love, peace, joy, and happiness. Now to him who is able to keep us from falling and this city, and to present us before his gracious presence without fault with great joy. To the only wise God, our Savior, be glory, majesty, dominion, and power, now, henceforth, and forevermore. We say, amen. Amen.
Thank you again for your presence this afternoon. The new mayor invites you to meet him at Winter Garden, which is over in PPG Plaza, for a reception. Again, thank you.